this is the papers that I particularly use. There are plenty of other papers, but I've been using a variety of these papers for some years now, and they all give different effects, and I really like them. Okay, the thinnest paper, as you can see here, is a 9-gram paper. It's called a Backer tissue. A similar one is called lens tissue, and a brand name is called Tissue Tex. It's 9-gram, it's diaphanous, it comes on a large sheet, and it comes on a roll. Some companies sell it on a roll, so if you want a really long piece, 5 meters or so, that's fabulous. As you can see, it floats about. It's delicious. So this is called a Backer tissue. There is also a Japanese version. I think it's called Tenchugo, which is more readily available in the States. I will put some links up underneath this video of where you can get these. It's not the thinnest paper you can get. The thinnest paper you can get is 3 gram, okay, which is, it's almost nothing there at all. No, don't really need that for what we're doing. The 9-gram serves our purposes beautifully. All of those tissues are available in range of weights. 9-gram, 15-gram, 21-gram, etc. So make sure you're looking for around the 9-gram or 10-gram mark, and you're going to get it as thin as this. Next paper on the block, the Americans will know this one. This is called Deli paper, and it's got a crease down the middle, so it comes in a box like a tissue paper dispenser. And the idea is, I imagine, that if you were in New York and you had a hot dog, your hot dog goes in there and it's delivered to you. Or if you're in a deli, they will use this to wrap up your meats or cheeses. There's nothing, and trust me guys, there's nothing in Europe that is similar to this. We don't have that culture, deli culture, in quite the same way. I did a lot of research, particularly with Dutch companies, because the Dutch are very fond of wrapping up their cheeses. I did a lot of research with a lot of companies throughout Europe trying to find something similar, because I was having this imported from America. It's about $5 for a 500 sheet box in the States, and $18 to have it posted to me in the UK, which is still fine. I was getting 500 sheets for about 20 quid, and so it worked out about 3p a sheet or something. That was okay, but it's very difficult and it was taking time. It's a wax paper, so before you ask, no, it's not like greaseproof paper. It's not like anything, trust me, not like anything we have in Europe. It's internally waxed. It's called dry wax, and I first started using it when I got into something called monotype printing with jelly plates. It's great, it's really nice, and it's really strong, and it is archival, okay, it's acid free. But I was finding it really hard to get hold of. It has a weight of about 25 grams, to give you an idea as a comparison, and that's why I'm doing this on a black piece of paper, so you can see the difference in transparency with these, and that's important when it comes to collaging, and I'll show you why. After time, I managed to find a similar weight paper, as you can see, okay, in the UK, and this is called Carnival wet strength tissue. And now I don't use deli paper anymore, import it, I solely use this. It isn't waxy, which in a way sometimes is a benefit. It is the same weight. It's extremely strong, extremely strong. I've been known to paint on this, screw it up, put it in the pinny of my apron. It's been through a whole hot wash and come out exactly as it went in. All right, it'll survive a wash in the washing machine. It's wet strength. It's strong when it's wet. It's designed to make Carnival sculptures from withies or canes, and then you wrap them, glue this down, lots of PVA, and it goes translucent. Doesn't go transparent in the way that this one does, but it does go translucent. So now I solely use this. You can buy it in large sheets. The more sheets you buy, the cheaper it is. You can get it off Amazon or buy directly from the company. It's called Carnival Wet Strength Tissue. So these are the papers I use. So having got collage papers, what do I do with them? Okay, I do loads of things with them. I've got stacks of this. So this is a piece of Deli paper that I have painted with the paint. Okay, it's nice to be able to embed that in a painting without having to get the paint out. There's all sorts of reasons why I might want a little bit of bling. So that's the Deli paper with paint on. If I'm going to use that with cold wax medium, I would coat it with a clear gesso, just so that it's a bit toothy. It doesn't matter, that doesn't apply if I'm applying it to an acrylic painting. Okay, so that's some Deli paper. This is some wet strength tissue that simply I've used to clean up a whole load of paint in my studio on the table. Okay, I've just wiped it up with this. Okay, stretch it out, might give it an iron perhaps. So this is wet strength tissue, extremely strong. I'm loving the tonal varieties that's happening on here. I spilt some ink, I went in and I used this to clean it up. Okay, so I will use it for all sorts of things. This is another piece of Deli paper. Again, I think that was mono printed. I was using that on my jelly plate with different colours and bronzes, and again this is slightly shiny, so if you have a paper, whether that's a magazine paper or a map or any paper that has a shine to it, if you're wanting to use that with cold wax medium, then you need to kick that shine into touch. If you're using it with acrylic paints, that's not an issue at all. It will stick to anything, acrylic paint, so I wouldn't really worry. Acrylic glues, I wouldn't worry about that at all. This is another piece of Deli paper that I have mono printed on using a stencil. You can see it still has the crease. You can iron those creases out if they bother you. The joy of this is you can also use either side, because when you flip it over you get these beautiful different translucencies happening. Okay, so that's another piece of Deli paper. These three are done on the abaca tissue. Okay, and I'll put them on something white so that you can see them better maybe than on the black. Maybe, not sure. Okay, so this one is a piece, there's a video somewhere of this, where I'd made a collage plate using crackle paste. And I inked it up and I printed. So this has been gone through an etching press. So it's been dampened down, put on the plate, run through the press, and that's the result. Okay, all now perfectly dry. I can embed that in something, I can glue it down. The joy of this paper, it is so thin that if you glue it down with gloss medium or matte medium, or you embed it in the cold wax medium where it isn't coloured, patterned, printed, painted, whatever you have on here, whatever isn't goes clear. Okay, so this edge, for example, would go clear. So it's fabulous because it disappears. This is another piece, okay, which I have stenciled on from one of my stencils from a project I did on the Alhambra. And I've just used that piece on this panel, and you can see how it's pretty much disappeared. So it's left the line, but the background, anywhere that's not got anything on, has gone. About 97% disappear. Okay, not 100%, but pretty much so. That's another one using a stencil, but again, okay, it's nice and shiny and coppery on this side. This side is a beautiful dull grey. Okay, where it's dulled down. You can layer these up, layer after layer after layer, and gluing that down, these areas go translucent, almost transparent, and you get some fantastic effects. So that's how I use these tissue papers for collage. Other papers, you can use found papers for collage, maps, magazine papers, old letters, pages from books, but do be aware that unless you've actually printed it or painted it with artist grade paints, the chances are it's going to fade or the paper may go brown with time. I don't think there's a problem if you're using something like book paper or dress pattern tissue, okay, which again is lovely, has lines on, because anyone looking at that will know what that is and would expect it to deteriorate over time. Okay, so those archival issues need to come into place. So that's how I use my collage papers.